Welcome to In Retrospect. This is my Sunday show where I'm going to be looking back on the week, and in retrospect, or whatever, I'm going to look back on it and say whether this was a good or bad week. This week was actually pretty cool. My Monday's prediction was actually exactly kind of like, there was like maybe one or two bumps along the way, but I can get into more detail with that later. I am going to sidestep us into Mother's Day.
That's right, Mother's Day. You should probably call your mom if you haven't done it.
In fact, just pause this episode and, go do that. Go do that, yes. I'll wait. Okay, now that that's taken care of, I wanted to wish my mother a kind of extra special Mother's Day today. Her name is Evelina, that's my mom, and her and my father have been married now for, I believe, 31 years. I was born 2 years afterwards, which them being married that long is actually pretty impressive. But the real reason that I wanted to make this video is because I wanted to kind of name the top 5 things about why my mother is pretty awesome. Coming in at number 5, she gave birth to me. Not an ego boost of just like, hey, look at me, she gave birth to me, but in the sense of she had kids, and that's a pretty important part of becoming a mother, is you have to have those. So, yeah. When I was about 4 or 5, my mom had the strength and straightforwardness to explain what the word fuck meant to me. The only reason that this happened was because I was walking over to a friend of mine's house, and I was chewing on my middle finger, and the neighbor lady, who was a stupid bitch, douchebag, I could say a lot of other things, but anyways, that's all I really remember, is her being a bitch, because she grabbed my hand out of my mouth, was yelling at me, screaming at me, and dragged me back to my parents' house while I was just crying, and I had no clue what was going on, and then proceeded to yell at my mother about it, thinking that I had given her the finger, flipping her the bird. Woo! But that wasn't the case. I had no idea what was going on, so later on that evening I asked my mom what that was all about and why I'd been yelled at and why she had been yelled at. And she told me straightforward. She told me that the middle finger means fuck or fuck you, and then when I asked what the word fuck meant, and she explained that whole thing, and it just like, I kind of learned about the birds and the bees that night, and kind of early on in life, but in that it was fuck you, fuck. Number 3. My mom let me dye my hair blue when I was 13 years old, and that was while we were still kind of pastor's family and still had to go to church. You done? These fucking floors. She also let me pierce my ear when I was 16, and so my dad didn't agree with it, but the only thing that I had to do was pay for it, which I thought was actually a pretty fair trade. During those times, it helped give me kind of a better sense of individuality, of just those things really just helped me grow more as a unique person, because she let me have those choices to do kind of my own thing. My mom and I used to fight a lot also, like over everything, whether it be school, life, work, chores, the car, I mean, you name it, and we probably had an argument about it. My mom even told me that the only person that could piss her off more than me was her own mother, which even at the time I actually kind of laughed at that, because I realized that it was probably the same for me. Not that her mother part, not that part, but the part that my mom could piss me off probably more than anybody that I knew. But yeah, when I moved away, or I moved out of the house at 18, and then when my parents moved out of Ashland, I decided to stay, and I almost didn't pretty much talked to my parents for almost 2 years. But no matter what, my mom would still come out and like help me out. Said she would drive out there and she would take me grocery shopping. I'd have my food stamps and she'd take me out there at least once a month. And I don't know, during that whole time I was always able to, like, I felt like she was always the person that I could call if I really needed to. She always made life, or tried to make my life easier during the bad times, and she really did go out of her way in a lot of those instances. And yeah, no matter what, even if we were fighting about something, she was always able to put her differences aside, and just really helped me able to do that again later on in life. The number one thing, everything that I just mentioned and more is made me who I am today. Even if I didn't turn out exactly like she had planned, I know that she is still proud of me. Both my parents are, and that really does help me in bad times. No matter what we have gone through, she has always been a good mother to me and my brother. Mom, you brought me into this world, and I am who I am today because of the things that I learned from you and from Pa, and I just wanted to thank you, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you guys. I love you very much. I love the whole family, and happy Mother's Day.